Hello and welcome back. We are today in the CRJ900 once again, and we are here in Brazil. Let's take the map. We are here at this airport, Tucurai Airport, or how you would pronounce it, and we are flying here to Johan Pessoa Castro Pintot International Airport, or how you would pronounce it. However, one thing you should know is our flight plan is actually set up from down here and over here, and that's basically because I could not find a flight plan in the online flight planner from up here. From some reason it is not able to find a flight plan from up here, but it was from down here. But we was arriving here yesterday in some kind of weather like we are seeing today. Okay. When I start the video here, it was actually thunderstorm and such. It suddenly has disappeared now. Okay, that's odd, because I had the flight simulator started and it did not have the weather, and now it had. Okay, never mind. The weather is better than yesterday. I can see then. Okay, but it is from down here we are flying instead. So the aircraft thinks we are starting from that position, but we are not, because that was technically what I could do. So we are taking the letter here. And what I should mention as well is that we are in the beta version right now of Vulcan, and it is the third one we are using right now. Basically because they have released an update. As yesterday I was trying to start up the second beta, but it just crashed the simulator, so I didn't even get it started or anything. It came with the message right when you started the simulator. Just as you push the button for start the simulator, crash. So that was not a good start, but luckily they have seemed to fix it. So now we are able to fly here in Vulcan once again. One thing I want to mention is that for some reason, and that's not just due to Vulcan. If you go to OpenGL, and there has also been others that has mentioned it, that for some reason start procedures and such may not work correctly, and that was also what I have experienced in the past, as I was mentioning in the videos, but thought that it might be something something else that was the case, but it seems it was not. And now we should select the nav source here to GPS, and it is this one. You can see it on my autopilot project as well. As you would know, I'm using my trusty autopilot project here when I can, basically because it makes flying a lot easier. Anyways, we're now taxiing here runway, and then we would depart here. And we are going to depart with a tailwind this time, just to shorten the video up. And I thought that I would do an video here where it actually was dark. I'm always flying during daytime and such, and we are actually using real time at the moment, so it is around was it 4 o'clock I saw in the simulator, so 4:15. So that's how it is. Okay, we are lining up here. We have the flap sets, and we would use the brakes here, and then I would set our cruising altitude, and I guess we would start out with around 38,000 feet. Let's see how it goes. And I actually guess that I have forgotten to set the weight and balance, and shouldn't we choose something that could be more realistic over there? Even I know Delta Airlines, I'm not sure that they would be flying here, but anyways, full capacity here, and let's set the payload low because we are on a ferry flight here, so we would be pretty light on the weight, I should say. Okay, anyways, we are now going to depart. And takeoff thrust is set, and we are really accelerating fast here, as you can see. Here we go. And here comes the rain as well. You should just see it, barely see it I should say. Okay, and we are airborne, tracking the landing gears, and slowly get those flaps up because we are accelerating pretty fast here. And then first we would do a direct to our starting point, we should say. That's the only thing we can do right now. Let's switch this on, flight level change, and select the nav, so the aircraft would start tracking our flight path here towards our original starting point. I'm not sure if we are going to see this that the sun is start to shining, because I'm not sure when that would happen here in this region. At what time it could be. Okay, we are nearly 100 nautical miles away from the starting point of the main flight plan. But of course we could take a direct to our first waypoint, so we don't have to fly directly to Black Airport. So let's actually do that instead. See, it gives us a bit different route here, but anyways, it's not right, you know, in the order, but I don't have other sources right now for the flight planning, and that's actually why I sometimes, even I know it's a bit clunky and such, I really like the way in FSX where you actually could plot waypoints, and especially also the custom. So if you want to fly somewhere with the custom interest, you could do that. But from what I know here, you can file a flight plan and such, but you have to know the main route and such. And as I have mentioned before, with the map here, you are limited, so you can only see some of it. I can't remember if you actually could use the training stations. I can't remember. But it does just makes it a bit more easy to set a flight plan if that's what is required. I know my frame rates are around the same right now as they were before Vulkan. I just started up this simulator, and for some reason it actually seems that from beta 2 to beta 1, even in OpenGL, it seemed to gain a bit of frames, but of course you also know that the weather is being injected, and that's so it may not be a entirely correct picture we are getting out of it. But from what I saw, it has increased a bit, and right now as I'm recording, I am actually back to more or less a bit better or the same frame rates as when I've used OpenGL. So right now the performance boost I actually get is actually equal to what resources it actually takes just for the recordings. Right now you're actually seeing more or less the same picture as I was when I was not recording with OpenGL. But again, it feels much more smooth. Sorry, not to make you dizzy or anything, but it really feels smooth. I also know that this aircraft is very light on performance. It's not performance heavy in any way or such. I really know that. But it was just for a reference here. Now I'm just gonna set a spot here for later, so we could adjust it when or if we are going to see a bit more. We actually can right now. And as you can see, we got this with the wind here, and it is actually funny how it actually adjusted the wind, because yesterday I was flying a small single-engined aircraft, and that took forever as I was flying into the wind. So I actually think I was flying for half an hour, and I nearly get anywhere from the departure airport. So after a little while there, I thought, well, this is going to take way too long, so I took a turboprop aircraft instead, and we could of course keep a higher airspeed as well as a higher altitude. And even though when I got lower again, the wind was directly opposite. So then we actually had some tailwind. So that actually was just a point we should get out of that main area, because we had that main headwind that changed to a tailwind. So that's just funny how if you're just flying and are so unlucky as we were, you really don't feel you're getting anywhere in such a small single-engine aircraft when you have that wind. It's not because it was a strong wind, but of course, as we are in a general aviation aircraft, it has a quite low airspeed and could not maintain as high an airspeed. So I can't remember, but it really wasn't very fast that we was flying. Even it was not that strong of a headwind. And that's also why I say that it's not my kind of thing, because of course that's how it is in real life, and that's how it is, but it's just not me, because do it once in a while, and if we got a tailwind, well, then I'm happy. But that's not always where we are going. That it is the case, of course. But of course, I could also just plan where it would be most optimal to fly to, of course. But yeah, single engine aircraft, general aviation aircraft and such. Well, it's okay, but it should more or less be turboprops then, because that has a reasonable airspeed. Even though I'm mostly a jet pilot, yes, you can say it's easy just to fly an airliner. It is compared to the propeller aircraft. It really is, because the propeller aircraft really has to maintain that engine. Because that's also what you learn when you are taking the flying lesson. Of course, I can fly general aviation aircraft. I've done it in real life, but I don't know why, but it just feels so different. When you are in a simulator, you don't have the same feel, but that's often also because you don't have the real scenery as you have in real life. There's so much to look at when you are up there in real life compared to the simulator, because in the simulator it just gets more or less the same. You are looking at the stock terrain and such. I know I was flying in the Alps region, and I really wanted the whole UK region, even though I also feel that don't know why, but the UK region does not say me the most, but just like flying here in Brazil or United States or Australia or whatever it might be, sometimes you think, well, do it, because you really are flying somewhere you're not familiar with. All the other places you may know from real life and such, the other is something different and something new for us, of course. Now I see our main headwind here. Not sure if it would make any benefits of going up to 40,000 feet, but let's just see what happens if we take that 40,000 feet instead. And I know it's not optimal for the aircraft to climb that high right now. But we are in a simulator, so it doesn't matter that much. Even in reality, it would have an impact, especially when we are so heavy. I know that we don't have a full cabin, it's only the fuel we got, but still. But as we are getting closer to our cruise right now, I guess we would stop the recording and return perhaps once in a while when we are flying. If I find something interesting or such, else we would just be back for the landing. As I can't say right now what's going to happen and what's not going to happen on this main flight, because I'm not familiar. It could be nice to record the sunrise or something like that, or not the entire, but when that happens, and then it could also be that it would be more or less when we are actually getting closer to our destination. As mentioned, I can't say, because we are quite some time zone differences here. I apologize. So there is some difference in time here, and I'm not sure how the sun position would be and such in reality. So yeah, that's basically it. But we would pause it for now, and we would get back later on. Hello and welcome back, and as you can see, we has a nice view here from our cockpit right now, and especially as we are flying towards the sun direction. Those nice colors. It's just this flashing texture here. Not sure what it might be, but seems to be the texture of the water, something like a region end or something like that. And what I was mentioning is you can see this it looks like a texture line or such, like when you are flying from one region to another. Sometimes you can see those lines there, like there's no texture or something in some smaller gaps there. So that's the only negative thing right now, and as you can see, we still have a bit of a way to go here onto our destination. We have slowed down a bit, and now we would increase the airspeed, as I had to do something when we were here at the cruise, and why you could hear me a bit, because I have been cycling a bit. So so that's why. So now we can set up the view here I was mentioning earlier for the wing view here. Take it up a bit higher and go a bit further here to this side. There we go. As well as over here, perhaps. Back a bit here. Guess that would be just fine there. As well as over here. And it really looks nice with the sun at our wing here. You can see it's still black here, and the sun is rising on the horizon and is lighting up the wing more and more. And that's really why it is so beautiful flying at those times of day. And I actually am a bit sorry that you first see the view right now when the sun actually has got up a bit. It would have been very nice to start recording here as the sun was barely visible and still dark could be seen, but I was a bit too late for that, sadly, this time. So I apologize for that. But anyways, it looks very nice. And the clock is 5:50, 10 minutes to 6. So that's nice. still have around 320 plus miles, I should say. So I would stop the recording once again and return a bit later on. I was just sitting here watching the main view. Might get a bit boring in the end, but I just thought I would demonstrate it for a short little period here, so we would return later on. And we are back. We are just reaching our top of descent here, as you can see, and we are 100 nautical miles away, so we would start our descent right now. So 10,000 feet to start with, and then let's get to the legs page and see we should be at about 2,000 feet for the first waypoint, so that's our main target. And here we go. See, our frame rate has dropped a bit here, but that's also of course because it is daylight, so of course there is more visible here. And yeah, as you can see, this funny behavior of the engines, we have seen it with some other aircrafts. I have demonstrated with the Airbus A330. For some reason, up here at high altitude and high airspeed, we see this scenario here that it looks like our engines are ahead of the correct position here. Not sure what actually is causing it as such, because we can decrease that effect. As it seems that it normalizes itself when we are at cruise and at a given airspeed. It is a bit funny effect there. But that's how it is. Okay. And it's been half an hour since our last record or such. See how quickly it's moving, and that's one of the funny things, that when you are switching the view up quick, you can see those artifacts. I have experienced it by the exterior as well. You really see how it can catch us up. It's not the simulator, it is actually the main hardware that can't follow the smoothness here. So right now it is actually the hardware, I guess, that is the main bottleneck right now. Because with Vulkan it's still much more smooth, but again, I also mentioned a few artifacts in the first version of Explain with Vulkan. Sorry for that. turbulence here on our way down here to our destination. You can see that it has a bit of wing flex, this model here as well, but it is most to be recognized here at the right wing, and now it stopped, and that's the left wing. Could also just be the lights. Yeah, now we see it a bit from the left wing as well. Through the half of our altitude. It was at 40,000 feet, and now we are soon down to 20,000 feet, so it's going well here for our main descent here to the destination, even though we are catching a bumpy road here on our track down here. Let's see. It doesn't seem to be the wind that is causing it, as you can see, as we actually has tailwind right now, so it most definitely is some turbulence in the area here. Use a bit more flaps here. Sorry, not flap, speed brakes, I should say, sorry. But main challenge right now is to keep the airspeed down in order to reach our 2,000 feet that we would set up in a moment. I just have to get down to 10,000 feet, get this airspeed bleed off, so we actually can slow down, and then we can continue the main descent to the destination from there. Accelerate right now, and then could probably set it down to 2,000 feet. Coming up for 10,000 feet, so down to 2,000 feet now, and then we should do it to vertical speed. Here, 10,000 feet past. And now you see we got a is headwind. Or was it a headwind? Oh, anyways, yeah. We are on our main track here, of course, for our landing here. I'm not gonna accelerate as such with the engines right now, because it's well that we are decelerating, if that's what it does, and if it's not, then it's just fine as well. It gives us a bit of time to do a steeper descent as required for our main approach here. And I will take the map here, of course, and do this here. And since there are no ILS, we have to do it the manual way here for our main approach. That's why you see there is no option for setting the frequency automatically, as you would normally know from my videos. That's what you are seeing there. The airspeed is increasing a bit at the moment, and that's basically because I have retracted the speed brakes, or spoilers you can say. As we're doing just fine right now, just getting up to the around 221 knots, so we have dropped quite a bit, so that's just fine for now. Changing a bit, but we also know from the destination that they have a variable wind down there, so we are already am aware of the situation. Now use this speed brakes again, as we are accelerating a bit too fast right now, so nice. And here we are coming up for the last 600 feet. And that's just fine. Let's this one, so we only have our main path here. Okay, 2,000 feet. Let's set some flaps in here and track the speed brakes. And set this to the auto position so we don't get the warning. Spoilers not set for the main approach. Okay, and we can zoom in further, and then we should know that we should be above 1860 feet by the next waypoint. So that would be 1900. Set now, set, okay, and sorry, not the decision height. Runway is around 266 in elevation. 400 is minimum. Be just fine, I guess. Okay. And right now we're just waiting for us to get onto the main approach here. And yeah, right now we could be at around 220 knots. But anyways, it doesn't make much of a difference here, as it goes pretty quick, as you can see. Our movement over the ground right now is just fine here, so that's how it is. Getting a little bit more flaps in there, and making ourselves ready for this approach. This RNAV approach, which means, as I was mentioning, we don't have any other equipment as such. Of course, we could do the NDB approach, but we are just using the RNAV, and basically what that means is that we are relying on the GPS fixes that the aircraft is getting. So we are entirely using GPS coordinates, as you can see, as the waypoints. So that's basically what it means when you are doing those RNAV approaches. Because if you can't, or aircraft is not certified for it, you would need the NDB approach, as and localizer is not at the position of this particular airport. But of course, since technology and such is so good today, aircrafts are certified to do the RNAV approaches, and why they are doing those procedures for more airports when they actually only has an NDB or such, because that is often more reliable and easier for the aircraft. So crew. Okay, and let's set it here and start our descent right now. Could set it for 700 to start with, to get it self-stabilized here. Go down to 180 knots now, and get the landing gear down so the aircraft do not make any problems with that. Oops, and we are already below. That's not good. We have to correct the aircraft. Shoot at or above. So what we should do right now is actually we should do this instead. We should actually climb up so we continue on that particular path. So we rectify our main issue here. There we go. Now we should be at 1800 feet. But let's just keep it here and then set up our 400 feet here again. And see the aircraft actually is giving us a reference here for the glide path to the runway. Even though it's all relying on the GPS sources, because in theory the airport does not have this ILS or glide path, I should say. So what it actually does is it's calculating a path for us, just like it would do when you are doing the other part of the flight. So in fact you could use the VNav if you would, but in reality I'm not sure you actually are allowed to do that, for safety of course.
300.
But I'm not certain about that, because the equipment are more and more precise and reliable, but
100. 50.
and it is
40,
not as
30, 20,
a
10.
precise approach as it was if it had an IRIS. At least not in the terms of the animation as such. And here you have to make use of the brakes manually, because the aircraft does not have auto brakes system as such, like you would know from other larger aircrafts. And the nice thing here is that we have a turning point here, so we actually just can turn our aircraft so we don't have to go all the way to the end of the runway. That's pretty clever. And here we are at our destination. And it was a pretty okay flight. Started out 4 o'clock or 4:50 in the morning and arrived here around 6:45 in the morning, so that's just fine. And I guess we are going to take a apron 2 here, and we would switch off our strobe lights and the landing lights of course, and taxi light off, as we have plenty of visibility and don't wanna hear it annoy our ground crew here. So that's what we are doing right now. Okay, and then we are going to make a left-hand turn here and make this parking spot here just across it all, but then you can go straight into the terminal. A bit odd with all those markings here, but anyways, here we are landing at our destination, and there really isn't much more for me to say than I hope you enjoyed the flight and such. And as you can see, this is the first flight with Vulcan Beta 3, and so far it did not crash, it did not do anything like I saw in the Beta 2, where I actually couldn't even use the Beta because it just entirely crashed the simulator at startup. But Thank you for watching and hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.